Hey everybody, this marks week 2 of us having our meat chicks. Um, the weather I think is good now. We did have some issues though this last week with some brooder temp, and we did experience some loss, and I'll go over that and review everything that we did week 2. Hey everybody, like I mentioned, week 2 is behind us. Up and down roller coaster. We had a hard time again this week with the birds, trying to keep the brooder temp correct. Well, we went from keeping one lamp on during the day or during the night to two lamps on to no lamps on, and then here we are, back again where we don't have any lamp on. Our temperatures this last week had been anywhere from, the lows in the 30s to lows in the 50s to, I mean, even up into the 60s, and then our highs was even up into the 80s. We did have a couple days there where the temp dipped down and got into the lows, got into the 30s, and we had some rain with that as well, and that kind of put a chill in the air. So that knowing that was coming, we made sure we had both brooder lamps on. Unfortunately, when I got up the next day, this lamp here, the brooder bulb had blown, the heat lamp bulb had blown, and as a result, one of the chicks was laying over here that was crushed. Well, it appeared to be crushed. The second bird, it passed a few days later. Of the two birds that passed, those was the two smallest birds. So I'm not sure. They kind of always kind of seemed like sometimes they would stay over in this corner, but it seems like when everything was going crazy at feeding time, one of the things that they just kind of like stayed to themselves a lot. So I don't know, maybe they was sick or something wasn't quite right with them. But anyways, we ended up losing those two. We've only lost two so far, and those was the two. It wasn't nothing that we could have avoided, I don't think, because the brooder lamp, the heat lamp, and the bulb was both brand new. So I don't think it was anything that we could have tried to avoid or was something that we did wrong. I think it was just an issue that happened. Probably ought to be thankful. A lot of the other YouTubers, they've lost a lot of birds this year as a result of temperature changes and trying to regulate the brooder temp. But got to move on with it. One of the videos I will show you is what you don't want your birds to do, and that's piling on each other. So the first video clip will be of that. The rest of the videos that you'll see of the birds will just be about how they're doing. And then once we finish up with that, we'll come back and then we'll go and we'll review everything that we're going to be trying to do here in week 3. It is feed time. So again, like the first video that you just seen, the little clip, all those birds piling on each other, you do not want that. That's just asking for something to happen, a bird to get hurt. They are on the 12 hours on feed, 12 hours off feed, so they are a little hangry in the morning. But as a result of that, we did have to build another feeder. And that all I did, and I'll show you maybe a picture of that here next week when they're out in the chicken tractor. But basically that's just I just put some 1-bys together that were think a 1x6 or 1x4 or something, and then just put some sides on it, and then a PVC handle that spins. And I'll show you that next week. What we're going to try to work on is to make sure we get the chicken tractor ready to go. I'm not sure if we'll get the chicks out this weekend, or if so, it'll be towards the later part of the holiday weekend, and then we'll show you those birds when they're out there on the grass. You know, one of the things that we don't want to do is put the birds out there their first night when it's cold, first night when it's going to be wet, or any cold, dampness, wind, whatever. First couple days, when we put our birds outside, we want it to be decent temps, and for them to get used to being out there, knowing that, okay, you know, I don't have my heat lamp, but we can always go in the corner here, or we can go under the shelter part of the chicken tractor and get warmth. So we'll go over that. Other than that, we'll see you next week. Please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Got to keep this train here going. And we'll see you next week.